Two.
Take two here. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm glad everyone could make it. I know everyone's a little restless being at home. I hope they're getting good quality time with their family, and they're going to make chilaquiles with us today. So I think everybody knows me on. This first started as a cooking class for work, and then this kind of grew and mushroomed, and we have friends, family, we have a lot of other people on today. So thanks again. I'm going to let Dante introduce himself.
Hey guys, I'm Dante Ingato. I'm Mario's younger brother, and I'm Sergio and Carlo and Enzo and Luca and Bianca's older brother. I'm the chef operator of Panache Gastronomy in Hamilton, New Jersey. All you guys tuning in from Texas, how y'all doing? All you guys on the Pacific Coast, I know it was really hard for you to get out of work today and get home and beat the traffic, but thank you for doing that, to tune in. Without further ado, I'm going to kick you over to Mario. He's going to show us what we're going to start with.
All right, so Sergio's behind the camera, and he's going to be our mixologist today. But there's a couple things that we want to get on the stove and ready before we have our drink. I snuck a little Corona before anyhow. I couldn't wait for the paloma. So first, I'm going to cut up the bacon. We're going to want to, I like to cut it beforehand. You can cut it after, but I think it's just going to be easier to deal with if you cut it first. Small dice. This is going to be garnish for the chilaquiles at the end. It is a breakfast theme. I know it's dinner time for most of us, but this dish is traditionally a breakfast dish. If you don't like bacon, you can do it with vegetarian, you can do it with chicken, you can do it with whatever you want. Okay, so that's nice. Cut up there. We put it on the stove. Put it on medium heat. Let that cook. All right. We clean our cutting board and our knife off real quick. And then next we're going to roast our veggies, our tomatillas in the oven to make our creamy salsa verde. So make sure your oven's on 375, 400 degrees. Probably take about 40 minutes or so, depending on how hot your oven is. All ovens are a little different. So you can leave it rough. I'm just going to cut these onions in half. They're going to go into the blender, food processor, or whatever you're using to blend it up later, so it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to cut this bad boy in half. Garlic. We're Italian, use a lot of garlic. I wouldn't put this whole thing in the salsa, but we're going to cut it up. We're going to roast it in advance and use it later for probably pizza. Ingato do make pizzas now and then, so we're probably going to use that. Also, while I'm doing this, if any of you have any questions, just post them in the chat window, and we will get to them throughout the class. And if you don't, we're going to have a Q&A at one point, so we'll get to them then. I'm going to crack that open, put it right there. Put that down a lot. Bacon's really going, really cooking up. Gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. That's a lot of bit, but that's pretty good. I'm gonna hit it with a little salt, a little pepper, and we're gonna throw that in. And then lastly, I'm just gonna turn my oil on for the chips that Taki's gonna fry. Sergio, I'm getting a little parched. You gonna make a cocktail now?
Let's do it, guys. Hey, everyone. My name is Sergio. Like Dante said, I'm the fourth of the Ingato brood. And we are going to make some palomas. And palomas go great with anything, especially anything Mexican. Palomas can be made with either tequila or with mezcal. Mezcal is that great alcohol that gives you a really good smoky flavor. So you have mezcal at hand, strongly advised to use that. However, our good friend George Clooney sent us over some Casamigos. So we're going to go ahead and use that. First, to start off, if you have some grapefruit, and you have a juicer like we do, you could go ahead and stick that right in here, clamp it down, get some fresh grapefruit juice. Nice. Nice. We're going to add that to our already fresh grapefruit mix right here. Top it off. Then, so it's actually equal parts tequila, grapefruit juice, and soda water. And then a little bit of lime juice, and you can add some sugar if you want. So let's do it. I'm just gonna eyeball this, guys. It is an alcoholic beverage. Doesn't have to be too precise. I'm a little bit of a heavy hand with the alcohol, so we'll probably do it a little, just like Sandra Lee, just a drop. And then top it off with our soda water. And like I said, you do not need to add sugar if you don't want. If you're on a diet, you know, you're on that quarantine cleanse right now, don't add the sugar. We're gonna add just a dot of sugar. And of course, we need some lime juice. So, bam, fresh lime juice. Of course, you could shake this if you want. However, Dante's requested that we stir. So, we're just gonna do a little stirring right here. Smells delicious. And now I'm gonna show you how we garnish the drinks. So, if you have a highball glass, that's what I like to drink these out of. The way you do it is, if you have some, you can either cut up a lime and use a lime wedge, or if you are so lucky and have some lime juice ready and on hand, you can actually just, like I do right here. Maurio, can you get a close up on this one right here?
Let's close up it.
Get close up, get close down, show them. This is fresh lime juice, so I'm just gonna put the highball glass right there. And right here we have kosher salt. I love, who does not like a little salt in their drink? So bam, right there. It's gonna match the other guys. This one's gonna be for Lisa. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to add a little bit of ice to that. Match the other ones. And now I'm gonna show you a few different ways we can garnish the drink. First, let's do some pours. Delicious. And 2, 3. And we're going to do a few different ways to garnish the drink. So this is made with, like I said, grapefruit juice and lime. So one thing you can do is, of course, do a lime wheel. Everyone knows how to do a lime wheel. What you do is you just take the whole lime. You're going to cut it right through about the center. Move it over a little bit. Watch your fingers. Get a nice wheel just like that. Put a little cut there. Beautiful. Look how pretty. Another thing you can do is you can also do a little triangle.
I might have to drink that one with the lime, Sergio. It's getting
Maurio,
lengthy here. Thank you. I think so.
Give it a taste. Then you could also, of course, do a little triangle. So you can cut the grapefruit into quarters, and then, bam, you cut, like I just did with the lime, where you're slicing down the center. You're going to slice 2 cuts, and you got a little triangle. Do one little cut right down the center of it. Bam. Oh, but Sergio, I don't know if I want that. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. I want a twist. So, hey, guess what? We can do a twist. So, you're going to take a paring knife. This right here is a paring knife. What you're going to do is actually, you hold the grapefruit in your hand like this, knife like this. Then you're actually going to twist around. You don't want to get the pith. The pith is the part that's bitter. Again, it's a grapefruit. The whole thing's kind of bitter. So we have a nice little twist like this, and we can add that right into the drink. I think that one's Dante's.
I like it.
For you.
Thank you.
And Mom, we're gonna give Mom a nice whole. She likes things a little lime. We're gonna give her a whole squeeze of lime. Just, hey, why not? Drop it in. And that one has Lisa's name all over it. And I think I'm gonna take this nice, pretty grapefruit one right here.
All right. Probably got to eat something with these palomas,
I
though,
think we're
right?
gonna eat something a little salty. So Dante, you want to show us how we make those tortilla chips?
All right, yeah, guys. So let's come on over here. Nothing goes with happy hour like hot fry oil and a sharp knife. So we are gonna first cut up our tortillas. All right. So if you guys bought corn tortillas instead of flour tortillas, I want you to give these a nice smack. They have a lot of starch on them, so you'll release that, and we'll be able to separate them so they don't get all clumped up when you deep fry. So take your knife, keep your fingers away. Just gonna cut them just like you see them in a bag, okay? We're gonna cut them into 6. You can cut them in quarters if you want them bigger, or you could cut them like a pizza into 8s. Come over here, I got my fry oil on. And we're just gonna give a quick toss with a dot of water, not a fistful, not a cup of water, just a little dot, just to make sure the fry oil is up to temp. All right, we'll get it a little bit hotter. It's not crackling quite yet. And while we're waiting for that, I could just run you guys through a couple variations you could do on this. You could throw these if you're a little health conscious, toss them in some oil, throw them in the oven at 350, take about 10, 15 minutes, a lot longer than using a deep fryer. Or if you drink the Kool-Aid and you're like my brother Mario, you could use an air fryer.
I'll give you a code. I get a percentage on every air fryer sold on Amazon.
Also, the thing to know about frying is you want to have a very clean setup because things could go bad fast. If your oil's too hot, it's better to be waiting an extra few seconds to get it up to temperature than to throw something in extremely hot oil and it just goes rancid because it's smoking all day. We decided to use corn oil. It has a very high smoke point, 400 degrees. So when we throw these in, it'll take 20 seconds, okay? So let's just give this another whack.
Nah, still not there.
Well, that's okay. I got a Paloma to drink, so I'm sure you guys already started making those. Have a quick sip.
So while we're letting our oil heat up here before we make the chips, I was thinking, I know we're so fortunate that all of us can attend this cooking class, we can all afford some food. And we thought it would be a great gesture to all the people that are going through some tough times to support the New York City Food Bank. So we set up a GoFundMe for that, and we'll ping it in the chat, and we'll send it in a follow-up email. Don't feel obligated, but if you want to donate anything, I think it'll go a long way to a lot of people. Oil sounds like it's getting there. I don't know.
So I just heard a little crack. There's still water in there, so that means that our oil should be good and ready. So we're going to drop our tortillas in there. We're just going to do a few. We're not going to overcrowd the pan. We don't want things to start steaming each other. They're going to be soggy. We're going to make sure we keep them submerged, okay? So this funky instrument I'm using is called a spider. A lot of people probably don't have this at home. If you do, awesome. And I would recommend getting one, but it's perfectly okay to make sure you use tongs. You can use a slotted spoon. Definitely don't go with your bare hands. This isn't something to mess around with. You can use forks, but it's got to have multiple times, and you got to be able to get that oil to drip off. Okay.
Well, that's looking real good, Don.
Yeah, they're coming along.
And again, if you have any questions, Mario is on the chat answering some questions for us right
now. So guys, another thing, just while we're waiting for this to go, if you bought a packet of flour tortillas, you're going to have a lot. It's going to be a huge excess compared to what you need for this recipe. You probably only need about 3 or 4 tortillas to fill up your whole casserole dish, right? So what I would recommend while we're waiting for the oil to come up and everything, go to your cupboard, get a little cinnamon, and mix in some sugar, about 50-50 ratio, with your excess chips that come out of your fryer. Toss them into the cinnamon sugar, and hopefully you have some ice cream sitting in your freezer. You just do a nice scoop of ice cream and a really quick dessert when it's all done, okay?
I think you're going to also want that to cure the hangover.
So, yeah, something to even it all out, bring it back to neutral.
Now, someone was asking how deep that oil in that pan is done.
So you just want to probably have, so in the pan, it's about 1.5 inches deep. What's more important is how far from the top the oil is. If you go in and throw too much in, it's going to come up with all this steam, and you could have the equivalent of a boil over with oil, which is very dangerous. So make sure that you have rivets on every single pan. Make sure that those rivets are visible with oil about 1/2 inch under that, okay? So these look good. We're gonna take these out now. Oh, would you look at that?
Just look at it.
I told you guys, you know, use a deep fryer. It's a lot faster. All right. So let's set these aside. We're going to use these later on. I'm going to turn off my fryer. Get this in a safe spot. Do not put water right into your fryer. Let that cool down all the way. And then we're going to move over to making our mixture for the salsa verde, okay? Follow me over here. We're going to go into the oven. All right. And through the magic of television, these are all ready. Make sure you have a nice landing pad to put these on so you don't mess up your mom's kitchen. And let me just do a quick little note. We're going to go over the ingredients. So what we like to put in ours is cilantro, and we like to also add avocado. That makes it really creamy, and it gives it a nice herbaceous flavor. A lot of people kind of are anti-cilantro. They say it tastes like soap. That's okay. I would still recommend adding some kind of herb. Oregano is popular in Mexican food, and parsley, people always associate it with Italian food, but it's definitely nice to just add, and it has a little bit of that herbaceous floral flavor. If you want to make your salsa verde even like creamier than just the avocado, I would recommend adding some sour cream. If you have a dairy aversion, maybe you add some pepitas. It adds a nice nutty flavor, still that fat, but you also get a nice coarse flavor. So let's go in. I've got my very, very clean cilantro. Just a quick flip. And if you don't have this fancy blender, that's okay. You can use an immersion blender. You can use a food processor. Any austerizer blender will do. If you don't have any kitchen machinery, I would suggest getting some, but you could always just use a spoon and put a lot of manpower into it. It will definitely be a lot more coarse.
Or they could probably hire you, Dante, to cook.
Or you can just hire Dante Ingato, Food by Panache. All right, so let's get this all in there. I heard my brother mention before he wanted to save some garlic for his pizza, so we'll use about half this head. Just put some cloves in. I understand someone was asking about putting cloves in, not cloves of garlic. You know, we're not making potpourri here, but if you want to do that, you know, it's totally up to you. Make sure you peel all your onions and pull the stems off of your jalapenos. If you want to make it spicier, do what we do. Leave in your seeds, leave in your membranes. You could even use serranos or you can use poblanos. And if you're a little bit of a wimp with spice, that's okay. We won't judge you, but use bell pepper. You got to have some kind of pepper. It just gives a flavor. All right. Now we're going to add our acid. 2 limes, medium-sized limes. Nice squeeze. Nothing like cooking at home. And then we're going to add our avocados. This will make it super nice and creamy, okay? One little trick with the avocados, I know some of you guys, it's really tough getting to the supermarket these days and you're fighting over the best avocado. You want to get it early. If you see one that's like incredibly dark, it already looks like it's ripened. There's a little test. I already pulled mine off, but there's a little stem attached to the top of these. If it comes off easily, it's ripe, it's ready to go. If it's a little bit harder, doesn't want to move, stick it in the fridge for a couple days or bring it home, just leave it on the counter for a day. It should be totally fine. Trick. Can't learn that in culinary school. All right, we'll give this a nice final blend. I'm gonna walk away, get my hands washed. Be ready to start that. How's it look, Serge?
Oh, it's looking delicious.
Yeah, might want to add a little salt, right?
Always add salt.
Yeah. Always add
If Dad's
salt.
gonna eat it, we need a lot of salt.
Salt along. All right. Let's bring this on over. Clean as we go. All right, guys, so now we're going to make scrambled eggs. Maurio mentioned before that this is typically a breakfast meal. We're having it at dinner. You can eat it any time of day you want. But think about chilaquiles as a Mexican version of Chinese fried rice or maybe a breakfast strata. It's a great way to utilize something that might seem past its prime and just it's going to become delicious. So we're using, in this case, day-old chips. I did fry most of that batch yesterday. Whereas you might use day-old rice for chicken fried rice, pork fried rice, or day-old bread for strata. So I get my pan going a little bit. We're going to add some fat, olive oil, about half this butter to start. Give it a swirl. Even though it's a nonstick pan, we still got to use fat. It could be spray if you're on that air fryer movement. You can also use spray. It doesn't have to be butter. Everything's better with butter. My mom just said it. Everything's better with butter. All right, so we're adding 4 eggs into this. We have a 9x13 casserole dish. This will just about cover, look like a garnish. It's really going to be the heartiness of our dish. In we go. I like to shake the pan and move my spatula at the same time. This is an old Jacques Pepin move when you're making an omelet. It's really the same exact movement. You get little curds. It turns out really light, even though we're adding a 1/4 pound of butter to 4 eggs, but you don't have to get so intensive. Take a sip of your paloma. All right, we're all set. I'm just going to season it with some salt. I'm going to pass this off to my brother Maurio, and he's going to assemble everything for us, okay?
Thanks, Don. All right. So, one of the final steps before we're ready to eat here, we're going to get our, whatever your serving dish you want to serve this in, as long as it's oven safe. I'm going to spray it with a little cooking spray to make sure the chips don't stick in there. We're going to take our salsa that Dante made, nice and spicy for us over here. We're going to grab a batch of our chips. Shovel. All right. I just toss them right in here. We're going to layer it. It's going to be kind of like a breakfast nachos almost, right? So I like to do a couple layers. So We're gonna put a little bit more chips in there. We make this nice and thick because there's a lot of people in our family. I know Dante mentioned about half of them earlier. Put a little bit of salsa. Ooh, how nice. I'm using my hands. Sorry. we've all been in this house together, so nobody.
We're quarantined together. We're
right. All right. I'm gonna put the first layer down. Now we're gonna want to top with. I'm using a Mexican style shredded cheese. Whatever cheese you have is fine. Whatever cheese you like best. But this is what I chose to use and keep it the theme. And garnish with that. Look at that. Look at that. Salt bay who. Salt bay who. All right. Let's do another layer of chips. Toss it in there. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, as you can see, there might be a little bit extra salsa, but I don't see that being a problem. You can always eat them just with chips. You put them on chicken. You can use it for pretty much anything that you use salsa for. Okay, do another layer of that. Okay. Chips. So, like we said earlier, we're going to do this with bacon. We're going to stick with the breakfast theme. But really, this is, we've mentioned it a couple times, but whatever you have in the fridge. If you have chicken, leftover chicken, steak fajitas from El Tiempo, cut them up, throw them on top.
Can you use turkey bacon, Maurio?
No, you can't use turkey bacon because it's disgusting. But, you know, if you have watched Game Changers and you're on the vegan kick, that's fine. You can use your leftover Beyond Burger from Burger King yesterday. You can throw that on top. A little pea protein, whatever you want to put on there, that's fine. Go for it. All right, we're going to top. Look at these beautiful eggs Dante made over here. We're going to layer with some eggs. Layer with some eggs. There we go. Bada boom. Emerald said we could use all the bada booms we wanted, so covered there. More cheese is always better, right? And we're gonna cover with a little bacon. This bacon's good for you, right? As King Curtis says. Some people might know that reference, I don't know. All right, awesome. So this is gonna go in the oven that we already had preheated, that we cooked our salsa in the oven for, right? We're gonna throw this back in there, 375, 400 degrees. Everything's already cooked, so really we're just putting it in there to melt the cheese and get all that goodness together, right? So I'm gonna throw that in the hot oven. And then, yeah, I'm gonna throw it in there. Don, maybe you can answer some questions with Sergio in the chat. I don't know
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, yeah, so what are we saying in the chat now?
So, okay, we got some questions for you. Question we got is, how deep is the oil? We know that. Oh, Mario, here's one for you. Can you, okay, here's Mary Jean's asking, should we cook the bacon all the way through on the stove?
Yeah, if you want botulism, we probably should cook it all the way.
Yeah, so I would recommend cooking it all the way. Like Mario just mentioned, we are going to just throw the casserole into the oven just to get the cheese to melt. So just make sure everything is really all together at this point. We're just going to assemble. So what else you got for me?
Nick Lowry wants to know if you, are you aware of the ongoing cholesterol problem in this country?
All right, thank you, Nick, and thank you, my cousin Vinny.
Cameron's asking, Dante, why did you smack the corn tortilla?
So we actually use flour tortillas in this example, but if you did get corn, I was saying it helps to separate some of the starches that they include so they don't stick while they're in the bag. So you get that extra starch out, and then when it gets into the pan, you're not getting all this disgusting oil and also your chips do separate when you fry it.
Great. We have some other cheese recommendations other than Mexican cheese that we can throw on top.
Ooh, you can get really funky. You could do some like manchego, some like nice aged cheeses. We're gonna garnish this with cotija. You could use Oaxacan cheese, which is very similar to mozzarella, and it melts really well. If you're in the Midwest, you might find Munster a lot easier than mozzarella. You could use that. And you could even go Swiss, but if you do that, you might want to change everything around and make a twist and do pork, and you throw pickles on it and make it a Cuban, chilaquiles. So there's a lot of ways you can go with it.
Susie wants to know, do you have to peel the tomatillos before you roast them?
Yes. You want to clean them. You want to peel them. Want to scrub them. There's usually a lot of grime on there, dirt. If there's a bruise on there, just cut it off. You don't have tomatillas, use regular tomatoes. It'll taste a little different, but I'm sure it'll still taste delicious when you say red salsa instead.
Yeah, basically a tomatillo, you could just...
Yeah, you want to show them how to do it?
It's very similar.
Here, just show them how to do it.
So it's got a husk on there, it's almost like a corn kind of husk on there, dry husk. But I would just peel it, and then I would just rinse it off in the oven.
Another question, Veronica Rabadon wants to know if she's allowed to use
Store-bought chips instead of...
Veronica, you can do whatever you'd like. That's totally fine. I mean, we're, working in a great kitchen. My parents have this beautiful state-of-the-art kitchen here. But, if space is limited and tortilla chips are everywhere already made, it's a lot harder to come by, fresh tortillas. Absolutely, that's fine.
Another question we have is, can you use feta cheese?
Okay. No, guys, sorry. There's a few things. There's some cheeses you can't use. So you can't use blue cheese. You can't use feta cheese. There's a million cheeses out there. I would not recommend using brie or camembert. Just, if you have most of the ingredients, you can make the dish. If you don't have them all, it's okay. What's that?
The feta cheese doesn't melt very well.
It doesn't melt well. It's incredibly salty, so it'll totally adjust the flavor profile and the actual overall flavor of the dish.
Lindsay Philpin asks, so my mom set the pan on fire and the fire alarm is going off. Is this supposed to happen?
Okay. No, that's not supposed to happen. Call 911, and you guys live across the street, so I'm sure we'll hear that.
This is a pretty good Zoom class, but you might want to call the police.
If you guys have a grease fire in the kitchen, now's a good time to just tell you want to cover the pan or you want to put baking soda or salt on top. You do not want to add water because you'll blow up her block.
Mary Gina said, no, she meant the feta instead of cojita cheese. Is that allowed?
No. It's not allowed in the dish.
Sorry, Aunt Mary.
We'll move on. So just while I have you guys now, I just want to give a little plug for my own business. I do catering locally, but really with this time and COVID-19 going around, I'm reaching out all over New Jersey. I've been delivering family weekly meals. I do it at a 10% discount, and also if anyone knows anyone has a close friend who's in the medical field, you can contact me and I'd be happy to cook something for them. If you guys like what you saw today and enjoyed our video, I encourage you to go on my website and leave comments. If you guys didn't like the video, my name's Rachel Ray, and you can write all those notes to foodnetwork.com.
Great. Dot, we just have a few last questions. And the website will be live in the chat, or we'll send it tomorrow in the follow-up email.
We'll send it in the follow-up.
A few Don Robin wants to know, if you're not going to use meat, what other veggies would you suggest?
Okay, so my immediate thought when people ask this question, comes up a lot, is mushrooms. It's a great go-to because it's super hearty, and a lot of people like to go that route. If
you're Donna Robin, I'm allergic to mushrooms.
If you're literally the person who asked this question and you are allergic to mushrooms, another very hearty vegetable would be eggplant. or squash also. Not zucchini so much because it's a little wet, but if you want to go with a starchy squash, like spaghetti squash, although it is a pain to cook, or maybe butternut or acorn, those are good ways to go to.
And two quick questions, two last remaining questions.
Yeah.
Maureen Terby asked, do you cook the garlic in the oven? Yes, Maureen,
Yes.
you do.
Yeah, we cook that in the oven just with all the other vegetables when we roast.
Oh, I guess 3. Bijan, you do cook the. How long should you cook them in the oven? Can you bake chips if you're trying to be a little healthier?
Yeah, if you are trying to bake chips and be a little healthier, I would just toss them in some light oil, and then I would bake them at about 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And as my brother mentioned earlier, every oven's a little different. You could have hot spots, but just check on them. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if it needs a little longer, go for it. But they won't get the same crisp that they will in a fryer. Even an air fryer will make them a lot crispier than in the oven.
Okay,
and
John, we get kind of hungry here.
Yeah.
How many
We're gonna ask one more question. Last question is from Billy, posed to both of you. If you were a Mexican food, what Mexican food would you be?
Of course, that's Billy. Thank you, Billy.
I'm going to say avocado because who doesn't like a nice avocado?
Yeah, I'd like to say I'd be nopales. I can be a little bit prickly at first, but once you get to know me, I'm just like juicy inside. I'm like a real nice guy, So, and if you don't know what nopales are, look them up. Yeah, it's cactus.
Oh, hey, how's that coming, Maj? Are we ready?
Well, I just took them out of the oven. It looks like our cheese is all melted and it's looking pretty delicious. So let's just hit it with some garnish, and I think it's time to eat. So I'm just going to use. This is a Mexican-style crema, but you can use any sour cream. You don't like sour cream, if you want to be a little lighter on the cheese, then go for it. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of this on top. Okay. Then I'm going to hit it with a little chopped cilantro. Okay. And then let's finish with that hard, salty cotija cheese to finish off the dish. All right. So I'm gonna make some plates up for us.
All right, serve us up.
Thanks for joining us. Also, thanks to my mom for letting us use your kitchen. Also, always being passionate about cooking and getting us into this. So thanks a lot, Mom, for all your help.
Should we try some?
Why don't you guys enjoy yours? Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it.
Let's take a little bite.
All right.
Continue to write comments, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for signing in and watching us cook.
Okay. There you go, Sergio. Thank you. You can plate that. Plate for our camera crew as well.
Someone asked, "Where's Dante's beard?"
Oh, it fell in the fryer oil.
It was so hot. It was a hazard. It was
I don't know if you guys saw, but that fryer oil was pretty hot.
How quickly did it cook those chips?
Yeah, so quick.
Yeah, we'll grab some forks.
Probably should be eaten with forks. It's a little messy.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We're going to eat this, and we're probably going to be pretty sloppy about it, so we don't really want you watching that whole experience. But have a good night, and thanks for joining. I think we're going to try to